Hi guys, welcome back to the garage. So today is a viewer requested video. I had a couple people ask me to do this video, and it is the side-by-side comparison of the Naked Heart Tarot first edition and second edition. So I spoke with Jillian before I went ahead and did this video to let her know that, it had been requested and if she was okay with that. She is okay with me doing it. However, the first edition, the way it turned out, really broke her heart. I mean, really broke her heart. And I'm just going to remind everybody that although the first edition is beautiful and wonderful, and I'm happy to have it in my collection, the second edition is even better in my opinion and much more functional in my opinion, and I will be using the heck out of this deck for sure. So with all that said, let's get into the nuts and bolts. So here is the first edition box, and here is the second edition box. You can see, I don't know if I put them like that. Let's see. You can barely see. It's just like a hair bigger, and you can see it's just a little wider, the second edition from the first. The first edition has the magnetic box, and the second edition has the two-part box. Everything is the same on the boxes except, of course, the coloration on the front. And then in the original box has this quote from Jillian. And the second box has this quote from Jillian. In addition, the second box has this on the bottom, which I absolutely love. God, I wish I was into getting myself a tattoo, because that would be a great tattoo. I got to figure out something to do with that. So that's the difference between the boxes. Next, I'm going to move on to the books. So this is the little white, well, it's not actually a little white book, but this is the guidebook for the first edition, and this is the guidebook for the second edition. I believe the first edition is 284 pages. Nope, 288 pages. I was close. And this one is 200, this is the second edition, 294, I believe. So there's a little bit more in there. Yes, 294. 288 in the original, 294. So you're getting a little more information in this one for sure. So those are the books. Now, I have taken the time to go through both decks and kind of pull to the side cards that differ. But, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you the cards that differ, and then I'll show you the other stuff. So I'm not going to go through the whole deck because there are only a few cards that differ. Okay, so this is the card from the original deck, and this is the second edition. Okay, Four of Wands. All the other cards that I'm not showing you are exactly the same as they are from the first edition. They're the exact same. This is a little different. We have a sitting fox instead of a standing fox for the child. This hand is always going to be first edition, and this is second edition. Okay. We also have a change in the youth. Foxes are a little different in that in the new, this is the new edition, second edition, the fox is quite a bit larger than in the first edition, which I rather like. I like that. our 3 of Cups. On the left here is the first edition with the bunnies, and the second edition with the dolphins, which I absolutely love. Then for our 6 of Cups, the original edition had a carousel horse, and the second edition has a unicorn. I prefer the unicorn. Our 8 of Cups is more like a gray bear from the first edition, and now he's a brown bear. So I like this one much better. So the second edition. We have 2 different 9 of Cups. So we have this 9 and we have this 9. I much prefer the second edition over here. I love the coloration and just the way the cups are on the outside instead of the inside. So I like that. Okay, so we have Child of Cups. And there isn't much difference from the first edition to the second edition, except for the whale position and the fact that the cup is larger. So again, I'm still loving the second edition. The changes she made to the second edition are fantastic. I think they make the deck even better than what it was. And believe me, it's fantastic as it is. So here is our Child of Swords. Again, we got the cub. We got a bigger cub, but now he's sitting. So first edition, second edition. The youth is changed slightly here as well. So we have the youth, and I like this one with the sword and the tail. I mean, first edition, second edition. So I think this was great. She had an opportunity to make some improvements, which I think turned out fantastic and in favor of the deck. So everybody I know, we all had a problem with this card because of the fact that the antlers and stuff were cut off. And that was actually meant to be like that. She meant it to be like that. But we had a problem with it. So she fixed it. So this is the first edition. This is the second edition. Again, I'll reiterate how wonderful Jillian has been to listen to everyone's insights for those of us who love our decks. And then here we have the 4 of Pentacles. And it's just a slightly different squirrel. And yeah, I still like the first edition, second edition. And then I think I'm coming up to my last 2 cards here. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, where we had this opossum, which is cute. But then we had the elephant, and I got to go with the elephant. So this is the original. This is the second edition. And last card, folks, is, ta-da, the Child of Pentacles. And, you know, it's the same baby buffalo, but in a different position, that's all. And so, first edition, second edition. So, there are the differences in the cards from the first edition to the second edition. I think the second edition is flawless, absolutely flawless. I also want to show you that she thinned down the cardstock, which I think was a brilliant idea because you can see, I'm going to try and show you how much thicker the first deck is to the second deck. So, yes, and these were difficult to shuffle. This is the first deck, and it's got the black edging on it, which was wonderful until you started shuffling with it. Ooh. Until you started shuffling with it enough, and then things began to come off. And so, yeah. So the cardstock was a little thick to shuffle with, and as you can see, it started chipping. So, but there you have it. And you know, this deck fully riffle shuffleable. It's hand shuffleable. It's fits in the palm of your hand. It's not too big, where this one kind of stretches the limits in my small hands here. So there is your comparisons between the first edition of the Naked Heart Tarot and the second edition of the Naked Heart Tarot, which I absolutely adore. This is my soul deck. I could not live without this deck. Yes, absolutely. If you guys have any other questions or any other video requests, let me know down below, because I'm always looking for nifty stuff to do. So with that, I will say much love, and I'll see you next time.